Hi, this is Stephanie Benjamin. I am presenting my week 12 full CRUD application. And so I'm just gonna start with how it looks here. It's a coffee shop inventory app. I can add a new coffee. Let's just say mocha, quantity 3, add. So there we've got another mocha. I can delete that. I can update this as well. So a new quantity, let's add 4, a new name, mocha, I guess Java, mocha Java. And there we have that update too. So that's kind of how it looks. My index HTML, it's pretty standard. I've got the Bootstrap CSS style sheet link here. In my style, I've got a coffee item here in the header of the body class. I've got the header coffee shop inventory. And then here I have my divs. My div ID actually is new coffee. And then the Jumbotron here. And then here we have another header for new coffee. Let's see. I've also got a button here to create a new copy here for the ad. And then at the bottom here, I've got the regular source to get linked over to jQuery, and I've got my index.js. So here we'll go right into the JavaScript. Here are the instructions for the assignment. And what I'm doing here is I'm starting the code off with a console.log, coffee app in quotes, statement which logs the message coffee app to the console. This is a good way to check that the JavaScript file is linked correctly to the HTML file. And then the API endpoint variable is declared and assigned the value of the API endpoint URL. This URL represents the location where the coffee data is stored, and that's right here. The get coffee function is defined. This is the next step. This function makes a get request to the API endpoint to retrieve the coffee data. It uses the AJAX method from jQuery to send this request. On success, the response is logged to the console, and the display coffees function is called to render the coffee data in the UI. And here we're calling the get coffee function immediately. The create coffee function is defined. This function is triggered when a form is submitted, presumably a form for adding a new coffee. It prevents the default form submission behavior. Retrieves the value of the coffee name and quantity from the form inputs and sends a post request to the API endpoint with the new coffee data. On success, the get coffee function is called to refresh the coffee list. That's here. The next step is to send the new coffee data to the server. And we're going to refresh the coffee list here. And then the next step is the code sets up an event listener using jQuery's document on method. It listens for clicks on elements with the class delete coffee. When a delete button is clicked, it retrieves the coffee ID from the data attribute of the click button and sends a delete request to the API endpoint with the corresponding coffee ID on success. The get coffee function is called to refresh the coffee list. That's here. Next, we're sending the coffee ID to the server for deletion. We're going to refresh the coffee list. The next step is the display coffees function is defined. This function takes an array of coffee objects as a parameter. It clears the existing coffee list in the UI and then iterates over the coffee array in reverse order. For each coffee, it creates a new div element with the coffee name as the text content. It also adds a class to the div element based on the coffee name and ID. Additionally, it creates a delete button with the text delete and sets the coffee ID as a data attribute. The delete button is appended to the coffee div element, and the coffee div element is appended to the coffee list in the UI. It's here. And then for each coffee, we also want to display an update form. So we're kind of doing the same format as above. We're creating elements to go into the form. And then here we're adding a function that fires on click to the forms button. Here we're sending an AJAX put request to the API containing the new updated data. Send the new coffee data to the server. Refresh the coffee list again. Lastly, we're putting input and button elements into the form. And that's my project.